All right, everyone, come have a seat. So I've been studying stubbornness and looking for the places in my life where I'm stuck on an idea. And it's also interesting to notice how our unconscious that doesn't want to know consciously things can create a story for ourselves so that we can live in that story and not acknowledge the truth. In other words, we could say something like, I can't do something. And what we really mean is, I'm afraid of not doing it well or not doing it perfectly, which undermines us in our lives. Really, stubbornness gets in the way of us really becoming spiritual people, because when you're really stubborn about something, you hold on to something, you're not willing to do something different, to do it in a new way, or to learn from a mistake that you made if you're stuck on being perfect. So today we're going to work at lifting the sides of our body. We're going to work on our hips today and just open up some tension. Maybe see if there's something that's keeping us stuck. And we can do it in a more expansive way and say, yes, we can. So I want you to shrug your shoulders and roll them back and down. And shrug your shoulders. Big inhale and shrug them back and down. Last time, inhale and shrug them back and down. Lift your heart, close your eyes, and come to your breath. Now, as you breathe, I want you to notice your breath first. And then slowly start to deepen your breath. But even as you inhale, see if you can just kind of release your thigh bones towards the earth. Keeping the sides of the body long. As you exhale, you're going to really find even more release in your hips, because we hold a lot of emotionality in our hips. That's where it is. It holds on tight. Then inhale. So we're going to hold poses today for a little bit of an extended time. And we're going to do it with this breath. And we're going to be open to a new idea, right? Of maybe doing it a little longer, a little slower, so we can really look behind our actions and see what our true motivation is. That unconscious is pretty wily. And slowly open your eyes. Inhale, circle your arms all the way up, and then exhale your right hand to the earth, reach all the way over. And inhale back to center, taking your left elbow behind you, squeezing side to side. But you're keeping both sit bones grounded the whole time. The inhale is when you go to the left, the exhale to the right. But I want you to go really slow so you can feel the whole length of the breath, because we're going to be sitting in poses for extended periods today. Right? Inhale. Exhale. Oh, yeah. Last one. Let's take one last one really deep. And then inhale. And all the way back to center. Noticing how your left shoulder might feel a little higher than your right. Roll your shoulder blades down your back, lifting the back of the shoulder blades so your heart is forward, and then change sides all the way to the left. Oh yeah. And inhale, center, elbow back. So I want you to get into your upper back. Every day you really have to adjust the shoulder blades because they get lazy. Exhale and inhale. Exhale. Exhale. And we're going to get right into our hips. All the way back to center. Let's get one more inhale. Circle your arms up. Let's get a twist in here. Nice long spine. So you lengthen your spine. Use that length to get a deep twist. Looking over your right shoulder. Good. So you get a twist. Now look to your left and dip your chin towards your shoulder blade and get a nice stretch in the shoulder. And breathe really deep into it. This is how slow we're going to move today. And then inhale back to center, all the way up, and twist to your left. Stay tall. Look over your left shoulder. Now look to the right and dip your chin toward your shoulder. And get a big stretch in your left shoulder. Big forward. And all the way back to center and come to lying on your back. Good. So I want you to make sure the top of the pelvis is back always, so there's no pinching in your low back. But you're going to take your knees towards your chest. Just give yourself a little hug here, rolling your ankles. And then extend your legs nice and long and up to the sky. Top of the pelvis back. Pelvis is at 90 degrees, right? Thigh bones to pelvis. You're going to take your hands outside your thigh bones. You're going to press your hands in and resist your thigh bones wide. So your legs are going to widen, or you're going to press in. And then exhale back. Just come on back. Inhale. Resist your arms. You're going to get it in your arms too. And then just come back. So you can start to feel it in the outer hips right away. A little bit wider. Close. And inhale. Close. We're just going to take a few more, but really resist. Your hands are pressing into the outer hips, into the outer thighs. Come back. Yeah. Last one. All the way open. Oh, yeah. And close. Good. Now you're going to take your hands inside your thigh muscles, inside your thigh bones, and roll your hands around your thighs. And now you're going to press the thighs together. So now you're going to open your hips. And now you're going to press the thigh bones together, but your hands are resisting, resisting, resisting. You can feel it in your arms. And then open it up. Exhale, press, 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 press right into those adductors. Good. Inhale. And then exhale, press. We're going to do 6 more. 6. Slowly, the whole breath. 5. 4. 3. Inhale. 2. Oh, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. And last one. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. And draw your knees toward your chest and take some knee circles here. Good. Now you're going to cross your right ankle over your left thigh. This is what we generally know as pigeon. But this time you're going to take your hands to your inner thighs, to your thigh bones, and you're going to press the thigh bones towards you, but you're going to resist them away. And then all the way back. Inhale, press them towards you, but your hands are resisting, 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 and all the way back. Oh, yeah. So my left foot is not landing. I'm just going to resist, keeping the right thigh bone really wide, really open. Yeah, we're just starting to get the fascia release here. So that when we go deeper, we'll be all ready to go, right? Take 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Oh, yeah. And release. Oh, yeah. And then shake out your hips. Hoping you're feeling the love there. Okay. Left ankle over your right thigh. Lifting the whole unit up, your legs up. The left outer hip is wide. And I'm going to resist it away from me, but mostly resist toward me. So I'm pressing my hands forward as my legs come toward me. And then I'm exhaling. Right? And then inhale. Oh, and exhale. It might not look so evil from the outside, but from the inside, it should feel pretty. You should be feeling that pretty good. Exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Good. And inhale. Exhale. Take a few more just like this. Oh, yeah. And press it up. And release. Oh, yeah. Extend your legs nice and long, your arms over your head. If it's available, take a breath here. And we're going to do one more thing for the fascia. So now you're going to bend your knees. You're going to have to lift your chest so the top of the pelvis is back and the belly's engaged. You're going to take your right knee towards your chest, and you're going to take your right hand, your right arm under your right shin and grab the outer right heel. Got that? Now, you're going to resist. You're going to pull your foot towards you, and your right knee is going to reach out to the right. But this is for your hip. And use resistance. So you're going to pull it in, but the leg is reaching out. Your whole right leg is reaching away from you. You're pulling the right foot towards your chest. Your right knee is going to reach out to the right. And you're going to come all the way back up. Now, if you want to take your head back down to the earth, you can do that too. Or you can take your left hand under your head to keep the engagement in the core. The core is just a little extra anyway. Exhale in. Right knee out. Resist, resist, resist. Exhale. And inhale. Good. And exhale. And inhale. Good. Last exhale. All the way in. And all the way out. And release. Oh, yeah. I hope you're feeling that. Kind of shake out your hips. All right. Last thing for the fascia on the left. Can you feel the difference in the two sides of your body already? So now you're going to take the top of the pelvis back, lift the chest. Take your left knee in towards your chest. You're going to take your left arm under your left shin and grab the outer edge of your left heel. Got it? So your leg is going to reach away from you, but you're going to press your left heel towards you so the left knee reaches out, aims out to the left, and come back to center. And press it out, find the resistance. And inhale. And exhale, press it out. The leg reaches out to the left. It wants to resist, or you're pulling it in. You can even take both hands to the heel. And inhale. Good. And exhale. We're going to really get into our hips today. You might feel very emotional today too, because that's what happens when we let the stuff out here. Exhale. I'm going to just take 4 more. 4, 3. Resist, resist, resist. Left knees out to the left. Good. 2. And last one. And release. Good. Draw your knees towards your chest. Roll your ankles around. Take your arms to T. And you're going to reach your knees halfway to the right, rolling your ribs to the left. Inhale back to center and knees to the left. Halfway, halfway. So you're getting into your core and your hips. Exhale to the right. Halfway. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center. Now you're going to twist all the way to the right, rolling your rib cage to the left. Good. Good. And inhale back to center. And all the way to the left. Nice twist. And take a big breath here. Slowing it up, slowing it up. Come back to center. Good. Now I want you to take your knees in what we call butterfly, soles of your feet together, and you're going to open your hips just a bit here. I want you to feel it opening your hips. We've already been here. Press the pinky side edges of your feet down to really open it up. Imagine you're trying to draw the energy from your feet up into the pelvic floor, lifting the pelvic floor and engaging your core. And taking a few breaths here. Now come back to center. And you're going to widen your feet and take your knees together. So your knees are really pressing toward each other. And slowly you're going to inch your feet wider until you feel it in your outer hips. So your feet are going to widen, your knees drop together. And I want you to feel it in your outer hips. Find how wide you have to go to get there. And breathe into it. Keep your pelvic floor lifted, the top of the pelvis back, outer hips warming up. You should feel some humming there already from the fascia opening. Good. And walk your feet together. Draw your knees towards your chest, lift your heart. Check in with your breath. Good. Then you're going to cross your shins, roll back and forth, until you come through table and into table, right? Now, I want you to make your way to cat and cow, flexing and extending your spine. Exhale with the pelvic floor. When you get there, inhale, see if you can keep that engagement as you reach your heart forward. Continue just like that. Exhale. Inhale. Take a few more, just like that. Really long breath. And take some hip circles here too while you're at it. What the heck? Take some nice big hip circles. Yeah. First one way, and then the other. This is kind of a different practice for us. This is very hip specific. So you're going to soften your heart, lift the belly, and then start to lift your knees as if the belly is lifting, the pelvic floor is lifting. Take your hips back, and then slide your bum up as high as they'll go and your heels towards the earth. And walk your dog. Just get a nice walk. So your shoulder blades are hugged together. We want to be very careful with our shoulders. Yeah. Good. Now you're going to walk your feet just slightly forward and widen your stance pretty wide. When you widen your feet, it takes a lot of pressure off your shoulders. Good. Then you're going to narrow your hands just a little bit. Take your left hand to maybe your right outer shin or your right ankle. Take your hips back. And then you're going to inhale back to that shortened dog. And you're going to exhale your right hand to your outer left ankle or shin. And inhale back. And we're going to continue just like that, taking your inner thigh bones back, your chest towards your thigh bones. Exhale.
Long breath, chest towards your thigh bones. Exhale, chest towards your thigh bones, getting into the hips. Good. Continue just like that for about a minute. Good. Exhale. Inhale. Notice how you're not torquing your shoulder in any way because the shoulder blades are hugged together. And because your feet are wide, you're protecting your shoulders. Good. Get right into those hips here. Nice stretch in the hamstrings while we're at it too. Good. Just gonna take a few more. Good. And back to down dog. And lower your knees all the way into the earth. Good. Extend your right leg in front of you, getting a nice flexion of the right hip, right ankle. Take the right outer hip back, just slowly exhale into it. So you're going to lift and lower with the breath, exhaling into it, inhaling slightly out. Flex the right ankle and reach from the ball of the right big toe. So there's no sickled ankles here. Yeah, the ankle wants to sickle here. And that's a stubborn place in our body that we have to keep reminding to change that habit. Get deep, deep, deep into the hamstring. Now we're going to get right into the hips again. You're going to step into your right foot, and you might want to use your blocks here and keep your hands on the earth, or you can swim your arms up, swing them up, get deep in the right hip, and we're going to stay here for a minute, a full minute. Okay, so you're going to lift your heart and stay with the breath. Inhale and exhale. Maybe you can allow something stuck in your hip to let go. As we stay here, your arms can be long. If that's too much, you can always take your hands to your hips. But how deep can you get into that hip? Good. Exhale, your hands back to the earth or to your blocks. You're going to lift the back left knee up, lift and lower your hips. And then you're going to walk your hands to your left, pivoting your feet into warrior 2 feet. So your feet are in line with one another. Your left toes are aiming to the long edge of your mat, and you're going to come right into your warrior 2. But we're going to stay in our warrior 2 hips. So your right thigh bone's back. Your right knee is above the right ankle, and your spine is long, arms to T. Roll your palms up. Stay deep in your hips. This is just for a minute, right? Yeah. And you're going to lift your arms up and then pull the elbows down. Arms up, elbows down, all the way back. Stay in that warrior 2. Good. Inhale. Oh, yeah. You know, a minute seems so short unless you're doing something like this, right? Inhale. Exhale. Now extend your arms out to T. Stay deep in that warrior 2. Oh, yeah. Take your hands to your hips. Bend both your knees and take your bum back. And you're going to start to dip into triangle on the right. And once again, we're going to be there for a minute. I just want to watch the clock. A whole minute. And you can pulse into it and out of it. But imagine your right waist is lifting up into your left. Your right waist is also reaching forward. You're not dumping any weight in your right hand. You're doing things different. I know, it's a long minute. Just be there patiently with your calm, deep breath. Notice how it gets easier. Good. Then press your feet down, come all the way up, taking your hands to your hips. Now you're going to pivot your right foot forward. You know, as a matter of fact, keep your right foot to the long edge of your mat. I'm going to move forward so you can see me. I'm going to dip forward and I'm going to take my left knee and just lift it up. Good. Or you can cross your left ankle over your right thigh and sit back. The more your shins come forward, the more your bum sits back, the more you'll get into those hips and you'll really get into it here. Now, if you want, you can take your hands to the earth or to your blocks and fold forward here if you like. It's all good. Just get into your hips. Know that they're nice and deep, right? For a minute. Are you breathing? Is your mind wandering? Can you stay here with me, with us? Good. Now, if you folded forward, come up and step your feet width apart. Good. Inhale, circle your arms all the way up. Exhale and fold forward. Oh yeah. Nice forward fold. I hope you're feeling something in your body emotionally. Notice if you feel a warmth in your body, maybe some emotionality there. And you're going to take about a minute here. Release your head, your neck. Listen to your breath. Press your fingertips down to lift the pelvic floor. Take your hands to blocks if that feels more appropriate. You know what you need. We're not stubborn. Right? Stay breathing. I want to hear your breath. Press your feet down. Circle your arms all the way up. Bring your palms together to your heart center. Now this is where you might need a block. You're going to step your right foot outside your left so that the outer edges of your feet are kind of hugged together. Take your right outer hip back. Your legs are long-ish. That means there's a softness in your knees. Press your feet down to circle your arms up. And now you're going to fold forward again, keeping the right outer hip back. Right hip back. And you're going to feel your outer left hip. So if you can't get to the ground, this is what the blocks are for. Take your fingertips to the blocks or your hands to the blocks. Release your head. Get that nice stretch in your left hip. And we're going to be here for a minute, keeping the right outer hip back to stretch the left outer hip. And just breathe. All four corners of both feet are grounded. There's a little softness in your knees. But a deep, full breath in your lungs. Lift your pelvic floor. That's a bandha, mula bandha it's called. It's a lock. It locks the energy in your body, the breath. Good. Press your feet down. Come all the way up. And and let's just kind of circle our hips just a little bit. Yeah, nice. All right. Keep your feet hip width apart. Keep your blocks nearby. Inhale, circle your arms all the way up. Exhale, fold forward. Oh, yeah. Notice the difference from right to left. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, step back to plank. You know how you need to do your plank, either up with your knees up or down, but the belly's always engaged, and as is the pelvic floor. Take a few breaths here. Then slowly, slowly, you're going to lower all the way onto the earth. Walking your hands back, and you're going to roll your shoulder blades down your back. Again, I want the shoulders always down your back and hugging together. Notice how that feels. Lift your palms, reach your heart forward. This is alignment. Press your pubic bone to the earth. Lengthen your legs long. Are you breathing? Good. Now take your hands to the earth. Make your way into a cobra or an up dog, whatever feels good. Oh, yeah. And right into down dog. And walk your dog. Yeah. And then lower your knees to the earth. Extend your left leg in front of you, nice and long, flexing the left ankle. Make sure it's in front of you, not out to the side. And then exhale right into your left hip flexor. You might want your hands on blocks here. Just exhale into it. Inhale slightly out of it. Make sure your left ankle is flexed. There's no, I told you before, you want to make sure the ankle is nice and straight. Take a few more breaths here into the hamstrings with a big flexion in the left ankle. Oh, yeah. Now you're going to step into your left foot and either keep your hands on your blocks and come forward, or you can swoop your arms up and come forward, and you're going to be here for an entire minute. Yeah, we're going to be here now. And just notice that as you stay here and you breathe, that deep Ujjayi breath, you're going to feel a little release, a little bit more release in your hips. What are you holding on to? What are we stubbornly holding on to? They say stubbornness is the single most worst impediment to get between us and our spiritual self. What are we stuck on? What can we open our hearts to? So breathe into it. Come deep in your hips. Your arms can be up. Your arms can be down. You decide where your arms should be. Ooh, you can go a little deeper. Let me hear your breath. All right, good. Now take your hands back to the earth. You're going to lift your back right knee up. Lift and lower the hips. And now you're going to pivot your right foot so that your right toes are aiming to the long edge of your mat. You're going to walk your hands to the right and make your way right into warrior two. Oh, yeah. Left toes out to the left. Stay deep in your hips. Roll your ribs forward. And we're going to come right into warrior two, but we're going to stay in warrior two for a minute. So now you're going to roll your palms up. And you're going to pull your elbows in as if your elbows are on a rusty track. And then inhale back. And exhale. I want you to inhale in, I'm sorry. Inhale in. Notice how big your breath is, and then exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Ooh, I mean, it's a long time. Continue just like this. Make sure you're nice and deep in your hips. If you need a break, you know what to do. Inhale. This is not a competition. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Just a few more. Get into our minute.
Inhale. Hoping you're feeling it by now. Good. Take your hands to your hips. Bend both your knees, take your bum back, and start making your way into a triangle pose. Keep the left waist lifted. We're going to be here for a minute. Okay. And maybe you can find a little pulse with the breath. Your legs are long or longish without being hyperextended. Keep your left ribs forward, the left waist lifted, the pelvic floor lifted. In a whole minute, you got plenty of time to really get into your hips and then the alignment of it all. And of course, the breath, the breath, the breath. Okay, come all the way up. Now you're gonna step into your left foot and just kind of hop your right foot forward. And we're gonna come into that little balance. So you can stay on the tiptoes of your right foot with your shins forward and your bum back. You're sitting into it. Good. You can lift your right knee up, and both sides are going to be different. Or you can cross your right ankle over your left thigh and sit back. And you've got to look at something that's not moving. Really get into it. I don't know why, but I need a little help there right now. Now, again, remember, you can take your fingertips to the floor or to a block and fold forward, and even lengthening your legs a little to get into your hips a little deeper if it's available. However you choose to do it. This is part of the primary series. Well, we're going to be here for a minute. Either with some help or not, it doesn't matter. Take another 2 big full breaths here, lifting the pelvic floor and the belly. Everything you do today is going to tighten up your hips. So you want to soften your knees, come all the way back up, and come to equal standing. Now you're going to step your right foot over your left. You might want your blocks here. Take your right outer hip back. No, I think you're going to step your left foot over. Left foot over the right, sorry guys. And take the left hip back, so you're going to get into the right outer hip. And you're going to fold forward right into it. And you might need blocks here. Blocks are really great here. You'll get into the hamstrings. And we're going to stay here really for a full minute. This is our last one. Make sure your back right knee is not hyperextended. And if you're not sure, soften it. Lift the belly. Good. Lift the pelvic floor. Can you close your eyes and really hear the breath? Can you notice the thoughts that come through? Thoughts that you've had many times before, I'm sure. Okay, a few more seconds more. Then press your feet down. Come all the way up. And release. And circle your hips. Oh yeah, nice fluid hips are always a good idea. And then the other way around, all the way. Oh yeah. So now we're gonna play in it just a little bit. Make your way in Utkatasana, Fierce Warrior. Let's see what it feels like. We're taking them out for a ride. Exhale, twist to your right and open it up if it's available, left hip back. Good. Inhale, back to center. And twist to your left. Find your way. Open it up. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, full forward. Oh, look at that. Inhale, look halfway up. Your belly's lifted. The pelvic floor says yes. I'm going to lift, and they're going to step all the way back to plank. Good. Keep the belly engaged. The shoulder blades are hugged together. And you're going to come all the way onto your belly once again. Make your way into a cobra or an up dog. And right into down dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up behind you. Exhale, step your right foot forward. All the way up into warrior one. Yeah, take your hands behind your head with the elbows wide. And you're going to dip forward and squeeze your elbows. Inhale and open it up. Elbows back. Exhale and squeeze. Inhale and open. Exhale and squeeze, yeah. Inhale and open. Take a few more, exhale. And inhale. One more. And notice as you take your elbows back and down your back, you can extend your arms really long. Exhale right into warrior two and notice how that feels. Take your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers, lift your heart. Exhale and dip forward, taking your hips back, your inner thigh bones back, and your heart sweeps forward. Your arms up over your head. Release your head, your neck. Take a breath. Good. Press your feet down to come all the way up. Now take your hands over to the right. Come through the lunge, lowering the back left knee. And we're going to come into pigeon on the right. So you're going to walk your right foot over to the left. Good. Prepare yourself so that your left knee is aiming towards the earth. Then inhale, lift your heart and soften your hips. Yeah. And then exhale right into it. And we're going to stay here for about a minute. Keep breathing. Slowly in, slowly out. Can you release any tension in your right hip? Are you stubbornly holding on to something in the right? Take another big full breath. And slowly, slowly walk your hands back. Make your way right back into a down dog. Ooh. And your hips are saying, ooh, yummy. Right? They flow. That's where the water element is in our hips. So just notice that flow in your hips. Remember, we don't want to be the cedar tree. We want to be the willow that flows, goes with the flow. Inhale, lift your left leg up behind you. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Come all the way up into warrior one with your elbows out, your fingertips. Make sure your feet are grounded. And then you're going to exhale and tip forward, squeezing. And inhale and open. You feel that big inhale. Exhale, use your core. And inhale. Elbows back. Good. Exhale. And inhale. And you can see how your core is related to your hips. Right here, right? I'm gonna take about 4 more. 4. Good. Open it up. Inhale. 3. 2. Last one. Elbows back, and now extend your arms. Oh yeah. And right into warrior 2. Set it up. Use those wonderful warm hip flexors. Now you're going to take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, lift your heart. Exhale, reach your heart forward, your hips back. Into it, come into it. Release your head, neck. Press your feet down to come all the way up. Inhale. Take your hands to the front of your mat. Make your way through a lunge and lower your back right knee to the earth, preparing for pigeon on the left. So I'm going to walk my left foot over to the right. Those of you who do it on your back, feel free to do so. Get on your back. Make sure your right knee is in line with your right hip. Then inhale, lift your heart and chest, release your hips. What are you holding on to? We're letting it go. And then you're going to soften right into this for 1 minute. See if you can breathe into your left hip. In other words, focus on it in your mind and let those slow, big, full breaths get right into your left hip. And walk your hands all the way back. Come onto your left hip and swing your right leg all the way forward. Oh yeah. Ah. Draw your knees to your chest. Really great work, guys. Amazing work. Yeah. All right. So let's continue with our hips. Extend your legs in front of you, rolling your inner thighs to the earth and widening your bum. Take your right knee in towards your chest. I like to roll my right ankle. And you're going to step your right foot high up into your left thigh. I like to take my left hip back. Inhale, circle your arms up nice and tall. Keep the right thigh bone grounded or use a block under your thigh bone. And start to fold forward, finding your deepest expression here. Your hands might only go as far as your shins, and that's absolutely wonderfully fine, right? And release. Breathe into it, both thigh bones grounded, guys. Good. Press down to come all the way up. Yeah. Lift your right knee. Step your right foot outside your left thigh. Take your left leg over to the right. And you can keep the left leg straight and sit up tall, or you can bend your bottom left knee. Yeah. As long as your right sit bone's on the earth. That's what's important. Good. So you're going to massage my belly to the right and either hug your shin or take your left elbow outside your right thigh. Shoulder blades down your back. Press your back right fingertips to the floor. So the fingertips are pressed down, the palm is lifted. So the right shoulder can really be well aligned as you come into this really deep twist. Yeah. Nice.
Take another big, full, big breath. Feel through your whole body there. And all the way back to center. Now you're going to walk your right foot over to the left and stack your knees. Now your bottom left leg can be straight if your hips are very tight and your knees lift. Yeah. You're going to take your right arm all the way up, bend your right elbow. Take your left hand to your right elbow, lift your elbow up and take the shoulder blades down your back. Lift your heart and your chest. Yeah, got that? Elbows back. Nice step, good. And now you're gonna tip forward. Right into your hips. Oh yeah. But here we just take 5 breaths. This is not one of those minute things. Of course, if you're breathing slow enough. Press your thigh bones down, let your elbows lead the way up. And release. Oh yeah, and let's shake that out. Oh, fun. Good. All right, left knee towards your chest. Open the left hip. Good. Set it up. Inhale, circle your arms up and your heart towards your right knee. And tip forward. And we're just going to stay there for a few breaths. Noticing the difference in the 2 sides of your body, but make sure your right heel is pressed to the earth, your right ankle flexed, and release your chest towards your thigh bones. And take a few more breaths here. No rush. Just noticing what's behind our words. What are we holding on to that's behind our actions? Good. Press your thigh bones down to come all the way up. Lift your left knee, take your left foot over the right. And either slide your right leg to the left or bend the bottom right knee. It's all good. I'm going to massage my belly to the left and hug my shin and twist so I'm gazing over my left shoulder. Maybe you'll take your right elbow outside the left thigh, but the spine is long and flexible. Your hips are like butter. And you just take a few breaths here. Make sure you're on your left fingertips, not the flat of your palm of your left hand, so that the left shoulder can be aligned and you can have a nice long spine. Good. Inhale back to center. Walk your right foot over to the left, stacking your knees. Your bottom right leg can be straight, remember. Lift your left arm up, bend the left elbow as if you want to scratch that place that's hard to get to. Take your right hand to your left elbow, coax it down, lift your chest. Your head is not dipped forward because the only thing coming forward is the top of the pelvis. And then you can get a nice rounded in your back as you come forward. And we're just going to take about 5 breaths here. Press your thigh bones down to come all the way up, elbows back, and release, opening your heart. Release it. And just shake it all out. Yep. Soften the top of the pelvis back. Press it back as you roll all the way onto the earth. Draw your knees to your chest. I'm going to roll my ankles once again and come into happy baby pose, grabbing the pinky side edges of my feet, but my elbows are inside my knees and the knees are wide. And you're just going to roll right and left a little bit so that as you roll to one side and the other, you'll find that your knee will come a little closer to the earth.
a little bit more into the hip. Notice if you're feeling the steam coming out, my shins are parallel to one another. They make the number 11-ish, right? Now release your left foot to the earth and just hold on to your right hip and just press it down with your hand, but let your left, the ball of the left big toe, the right big toe, press up so you find that resistance and breathe into it. And make your way back to center and change sides, releasing your right foot. The sole of my left foot is lifting up, is reaching to the sky. There's no stickling in my ankle. And I press my left, the ball of the left big toe up as I hold it back. And there's resistance there. And I can feel it right into my hips. And you take a few breaths here. Everything we do is going to tighten up our body, which is what our bodies are for, which is why we come to the mat often and let the steam out. Then make your way back to happy baby, last one. Just notice the balance in the right and the left. Take your feet to the earth. Inhale, extend your right leg all the way up to the sky. Interlace your fingers behind your right thigh bone, pressing the thigh bone forward, but holding it back and down. Take a breath here. Inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to slowly release your right leg all the way to the earth, taking the entire exhale really slow. You notice we're taking a nice slow time this time today. Take your left knee in towards your chest, extend your left leg long, get a nice stretch there. The thigh bone presses forward, but you hold it back and press it down to the back of the hip, which is where we want our thigh bones to be. Take a big inhale. And then slowly on the exhale, you're going to roll your shoulder blades together, release your left leg like it's a leaf. Flowing to the earth, palms up beside you, and exhale through your nose. Take one more inhale through your nose, big, really big, and then slowly exhale through your mouth, right into Shavasana, and we're just going to take a little rest here. Allow your body to be dead weight into the earth. And notice all the activity in your mind. And take rest.
Start rolling your wrists and your ankles. Inhale, extend your arms up over your head. And exhale through your mouth. Draw your knees really tight into your chest. Notice the flexibility in your body. And roll to your right side. Just be there for a second. Be open to be there for a second, to think about things, to take in another point of view. Yeah. And be willing to change your mind. And then make your way to a seat on your mat. Bring your palms together to your heart center, feeling the groundedness of your thighs and your hips into the earth, but yet the air lifting up in your body so that we know we're going to be who we are, even if we listen to each other and listen to that real still voice in our head that knows really why we say the things we do and do the things we do. The light in me honors that light in you. Mwah. Love you guys. I'm just going to turn off the recording.